Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy, you are amazing. It has been a long winter's nap because we both went to SHOT Show, and that's very difficult to do these pieces of content. But we are back, and just in time, because what we are going to give you right now is a soup du jour of complaining, fear-mongering, and begging for money from gun controllers, along with a beautiful hiding of the ball from an ATF. Guys, this is going to be everything that you need to start a Monday morning. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on because you are amazing. We're chasing freedom together. And Tim, with that said, man, when we go to SHOT, there's always going to be something to happen. And this one happened like 9,000 things. However, when we come back and we get to look into every town begging for money to email supporters, that gives me a special level of happy.
I know. They're hurting, man. It's and what's funny is they keep the same old lineup. We have to combat gun violence. It's like, yeah, well, that should be a pretty easy fight because guns don't really commit violence.
It's odd,
sweetie pie. I know it's just
it's weird.
Yeah, but hey, let's keep the push. Those inanimate objects, we got to rein those things in. We just can't have them running amok.
Got to do it. And now one thing that I would like to highlight before we go into this, as Dr. Slides has us pulled up over here, I would like to highlight something. I think it's interesting, Tim. I'd love your take on this. Have you noticed that in these gun controlling organizations, which are corporations, which require money infusions or they don't get to pay their on-staff people, have you noticed that when they're in power, it's one set of emails about like, we're really going to take the gun rights away. We're really going to get safety together and we can do it with your donation. And then when they're not in power, it's like, they're going to take it all. We got to have our money.
The sky is falling, please. It's like Kamala Harris, It's like she burns through $1.5 billion trying to buy the election of dark money. And then, I don't even want to go into all the hypocrisy of all that, but she, burns through $1.5 billion, winds up 20 million in the hole, and then she goes out on a fundraising push. Like, it's like, gotta pay that 20 million off.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, still owe Oprah $2.5 million. And yeah,
it's like,
man.
Wow. Oh, but no, Tim.
That's typical.
Hold on. Typical. Tim, you gotta be fair. I, as the arbiter of fairness, I feel obliged to tell you that Oprah's production company took the $2.5 million, not Oprah. So it's fine. It's fine.
It would be a totally different story if the production company was owned by Oprah.
Oh,
anyway,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh man, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
You do. It's so.
I didn't get the money.
Yeah,
that was Bob over here who works for me.
Obviously we're fine, right, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've had fun with that one, good setup, by the way. Let me jump into this Every Town for Gun Safety begging for money email that Aiden Johnson from GOA posted. Guys, I'm telling you, we've been saying it for a while. You are winning. They are at the point where they're getting their butts kicked in so hard. They are now sending out fundraising, begging for money emails in order to stop nominations. I mean, okay, let me show you.
It's not going to work. I mean, and this is what's so funny about it. They're begging their followers for money, and their followers could give them $1.5 billion like they did Harris. And guess what's not going to happen? They're not going to stop his nomination. It's just more grift. They're greasing the wheels, man.
That's a good way to say it. That's a good way.
What are they going to do to stop his nomination? Seriously.
Well, right. They got 53 senators. They just got Pete Hegseth through. They just got Kirsty Noem through. They threw everything in the kitchen sink at Pete Hegseth.
Yeah, I mean, and they got nowhere.
He got nowhere, and they still beat him with the tiebreaker.
The E4 Mafia to the rescue, baby. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Well, now, I mean, it's a good day, honestly, Tim, when we've got so many positions in the Senate where you overcome the regular rhinos like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. I mean, that's a good day. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, let's get to what every town said to Rob. Rob, of course, is probably the fictitious person that someone put together in order to get these emails, to be quite candid. Rob's probably not real, but anyway.
Rob's part of a focus group. Rob comes from a focus group.
Right. Rob probably goes to a GOA inbox.
Let's just call him Bob because it spells the same thing both forward and backwards. All right.
Love it, Bob.
What's Bob got
Well,
to
Tim,
say?
as you know, no, this is to Bob. This is informing Bob.
Oh, okay.
The FBI's mission to protect the public from violent crime, including gun violence. However, Donald Trump's nomination of Kash Patel as the next FBI director threatens public safety and the rule of law. Now, Tim, I mean, that might be a bit of a stretch. Just a smidgen.
They're going to fight. They're going to fight the rule of regulations that were made up by agencies with no authority, according to the Supreme Court.
Exactly. Yeah. It's weird.
Because law. That's an interesting use of words. Law. I don't think it's a law, sweetheart, that we're worried about.
Law. About that law. And see, that's what's so interesting, because Tim you may think he's splitting hairs, but he's actually right over the target. Because there's two different sets here that we're going on. There's the existing laws that were passed by Congress, which the FBI has a mandate to enforce. Obligated to enforce. And then there's the ones that they made up whole cloth from rules and interpretations of law by redefining definitions. The old ATF Steve Dentelbach special?
Right.
That's what Kash Patel has said, Tim. It has never been, we're not going to support arresting murderers.
Right.
No.
And the FBI has to decide what to do here. It's like, braces are stocks. No, braces are just braces. No, braces are stocks. It's like, this is an example of the bureaucracy at work here, folks, where it just takes a law that Congress passes and then just makes up interpretations of the law, which are brand new laws.
And, well, at least carry the penalty of brand new laws.
Right.
But they weren't passed by Congress.
And Trump has promised to stop all of this. The Supreme Court has spoken. It's called Chevron deference. The Supreme Court has spoken, and Trump has promised to end this. I think, Braden, you keep better abreast of this type of stuff than I do. So in his previous term, Trump said if you're going to pass a new regulation, he had to undo 2, or was it 1?
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
No,
so
that is correct. It was 2
Did
to
he
1.
not issue a similar proclamation just recently where now if you want to add a new regulation, you got to undo 4 or something? Like he doubled it?
Well, first of all, yes, you were correct on the previous. It was 2 to 1.
Okay.
I have not seen the new one. He did say 100% he was going to, but if he did 4 for 1, that is the Trumpiest middle finger ever.
It's so epic. 2 for 1's awesome. 4 for 1 is just epic. So what that means, folks, is if they want to pass a new regulation and do they want to go out and send a letter out and say we're going to reinterpret this law and all this stuff, which the Supreme Court technically has said they're not supposed to be doing anymore. But if you want to go do that and you want to add a new regulation to the books, EPA, ATF, any of them, you're going to have to undo at least 2 to get your new one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it disincentivizes them from doing it because now they got to sort through the existing and I got to get rid of this one. Oh no, we like that one a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. Well, they're going to start off with the ones they don't care about, of course, and then they're going to finally get to the ones they do care about. And they'll be like, oh, it's like that meme where they have to choose the button and they're sweating. And
it's like, oh. I know.
But what
do we do here? Except they got 3 buttons. They got to press 2 then 1. Yeah.
they got exactly. All right, so Tim, I'm glad that you and I, without coordination, I'll have you know, put on the right attire for this next sentence. Are you ready?
Okay.
Kash Patel, who is backed by gun rights extremist groups like Gun Owners of America.
Woo! We're extremists, folks.
Yep, all day. Which has called for the abolishing of the ATF. Go on. And supports allowing domestic abusers to buy guns. Okay. The Gun Owners of America has never, ever, ever, ever said we fully endorse domestic abusers getting guns.
No.
What their position has been, along with everyone else on the right or the gun rights side of the aisle, has been if you're charged with a allegation and there is no conviction, which means there has been no consequence officially in the court system, you aren't going to lose your rights. That is what they're translating as they want the abusers to have guns.
So what they're advocating for, folks, is, some random person in your life goes to a judge in secrecy and says, I don't like him. I think he's crazy. He has a gun. And then they race over there, take your guns away without having charged you with the crime, without you having been found guilty of a crime. They deny you your rights and your property. Go ahead and lock that up. And now, they've just kind of flipped the script with this notion. Instead of you being innocent unless proven guilty, now you're guilty, and it's up to you to prove your innocence, folks, if you want your rights
safer
back.
That way. It's
and that's what they're talking
safer
about.
That way.
And
it's obviously safer that way, yeah.
Right, yeah. And this is a Pam Bondi thing. I won't go down that whole road. But this is how they do things, folks. They're twisting the words here. They're saying, well, GOA wants abusers to have guns. No, that's not what they said. GOA says, we don't want you taking people's rights away without something called due process. It's in the Constitution. Read it sometime.
It's weird. Pumpkin. It's a lot of great things in there.
Yeah.
Pumpkin. Well, Tim, as much as that was fun, that was the first half of that little paragraph of fundraising. Here comes the rest of it. So after GOA is an extremist group and wants to get rid of the ATF, again, don't tease me, and they want domestic abusers to have guns, they would also prioritize the gun lobby's Guns Everywhere agenda to put more guns in more hands in more places. I mean, okay.
Actually, I think that's Palmetto State Armory. Kudos to them. They want to arm every American.
The gun printer.
Just go ahead and give that to us at GOA too. We'll take it. Yes, we do.
PSA is like, how can we make a bajillion of these and piss everybody off? All right. Can we get a bulk order of 500 million pieces of lower, please?
Right. Oh, they're nuts. It's just so funny how they work. They've said so much stupid in this one little presser. It's incredible.
It's amazing. Well, now comes the action point. In fundraising and activist groups, this is the point where we introduce the CTA, as they call it, the call to action. Watch this. We cannot, in bold, we cannot let Kash Patel become the next FBI director. We need to mobilize our base to get the message out to lawmakers to reject this dangerous nomination, Rob. And we'll do everything we can to stop this from happening. But we can't do it alone. There it is.
Yep. Give us money.
It is. Give us money. Rob, so we donate to the Everytown Action Fund.
So we can have champagne with lunch and buy nice new suits. We don't know what else we're going to do with it because that money certainly isn't going to stop him from getting nominated. It's just like, look at all these bad things the Republicans are going to do. Give us money.
What are you going to do with money?
We don't know. But we don't know that money because we're going to make this stop somehow. We're going to do it through meditation, folks. Yep. Pay our meditation team to meditate these evil conservatives out of your rights. And
all the vibes.
Yeah,
yep.
What they're just lunatics, man. They are.
It's so insane. Lunatics. It's so insane, dude. This is so. I mean, it's literally the recipe for making these. Just so you guys know, and the reason we're going into this because it really does highlight the recipe process. It's literally let's throw in some anti-gun and fear propaganda. Let's throw in a heavy dose of fear, and then a way that you can make the fear go away by giving us money. I mean, it is literally every time.
And you know what Kash Patel's whole pitch is? He wants to get corruption out of the FBI. Why is that a bad thing? He wants to take the FBI away from being a political strong-arm organization that beats political adversaries over the head and uses lawfare to destroy them and imprison them. He's promised to get rid of that and make it even so that it goes back to what it's supposed to and just enforce the laws and not political agendas. And that's a bad thing to the gun grabbers, right? Because they need the political agendas and they need political hacks in high positions of power like the FBI so they can get their agenda done because they can't get it done legislatively. So if they can do it through the back door through harassment and lawfare, then that's exactly what they're going to support, folks, because that's freedom. Not
some of the best work comes out of the back door. All right, so all right. So let me read the rest. This is the first hyperlink for funding because this is important how they phrase this. Rob, donate to Everytown Action Fund to ensure we have what it takes to stop Trump's disastrous pick for the FBI director, defeat the gun lobby's agenda across the country, and save lives. We're up against extremist anti-government gun groups and need your support. Wow.
Give us money so we have what it takes to have your money.
Dude, it's so bad. Okay, let's keep going, though, because it gets real fun. Without strong leadership at the FBI, law enforcement won't have the support needed to do their jobs, and our communities will be further at risk of gun violence. Okay. Kash Patel is loyal to Trump and could instead, according to Gun Owners of America, bring a reckoning to the FBI and undermine law enforcement's abilities to combat gun crime. Good God. Okay, the FBI does need a reckoning. They are politicized. They were abusing their power against the citizenry. That is like literally begging for a reckoning. But don't worry, GOA is so insane.
But it's interesting. There's a paradigm shift here. Nowhere do they mention
Weird.
NRA.
Isn't that, isn't it? Oh my God, Tim, hold on. This is really important. We got to do something here. Nailed it. Nailed it. Bro, yeah. I freaking love it. That is so important. We're going to pause all wheels. This is big. Tim just hit on something important, guys. They're not talking about the NRA. If you are in GOA, you just achieved something that is really impressive. You have taken over the spot in the NRA, which obsessed their mind, and now they're focusing on you, which means you must be doing your job, which means everyone watching this must check out GOA because they're living rent-free inside gun controllers' heads.
And here's what I found really interesting. So I went by the NRA booth at SHOT Show, and it was dead. Massive booth.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
It's like we're all mosquitoes and there's a blue light. They're just like, ew.
Yeah.
Like there's a citronella plant in the middle.
You know, to help all the customer. Well, there wasn't nobody there. Mm-hmm. And then GOA had a little booth, and it was just jam-packed.
It was popping, baby.
With, John Crump there and all the social media 2A gun people. Dick Heller was there. Eric Pratt was there meeting with people, rubbing elbows and saying hello. I mean, it was just overflowing the entire time. And NRA's upstairs just kind of licking the wounds and publishing really BS articles about GOA.
we got to do that. We
should probably talk about that one.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that in another one. That absolutely, Dr. Slides, make a note of that. We're gonna talk about that. All right. So now the final thing, Tim, and this one you're gonna have fun with. To wrap all this up, after 2 funding hyperlinks and 1 big donate button, this is how they wrap this. Thank you. With your support, we can ensure the FBI remains a force for public safety, not a pawn of extremists.
Pawn of extremists like Biden. And,
Biden.
and holding J6 people, like 76-year-old women accused of being too verbally abusive at a rally for 4 years in prison without due process of a speedy trial.
That's weird.
That type of radicalism. I mean, because, Trump has his own little private prison with all of his political prisoners in it. Not.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's so great. I'm glad you picked up on that, Tim, because we definitely, in government, we definitely don't want the FBI to be a pawn of extremists like the last 4 years, where the FBI went to school board meetings and intimidated women and intimidated mothers and fathers. And what else? And
arrested
did they do,
people,
Tim?
standing, protesting, things like doing pro-life protests or being arrested for having an opinion.
Yeah. Or praying on a public sidewalk, or
can't do that. Can't do that. Can't pray on football fields at high schools, and yet no praying for you.
But luckily, Tim, if you just donate your money to Every Town for Gun Safety, you can prevent all of that action of the FBI being used as a pawn by extremists. Oh my God, the hypocrisy. I hate hypocrisy. Hate it.
Yeah, there's nothing money and taxes can't fix. Yeah, so typical leftist approach to everything.
You know what, Tim? I'm going to be honest, man. That took longer than I thought, and we had a lot of good fun. Why don't we push the hiding the ball of the DEI stuff at ATF to another video? Because I think that was a pretty good one. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's let them have their own little video, because they're our friends and all. Not. But it's going to be fun doing battle with these clowns for the next 4 years. We're actually kind of looking forward to that, because we're going to have all sorts of stupid little emails like this where they're begging for money to stop Trump from being Trump and reinstating freedom in the United States. How horrible it is for you to have your rights, folks. We're going to protect your freedoms by taking them from you. That's what these gun grabbers promise. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.